Donald Trump held multiple rallies over this final weekend before the 2022 midterms. We already looked at rallies which Barack Obama did. Let's now look at Trump. Donald Trump's rally was so disastrous, half the crowd started leaving early. Reporters reported that half of the crowd was walking out as Donald Trump was still speaking. One of the new totally propagandistic things that Trump has brought back is flying in on his plane. This is the plane his own followers funded for him to get repainted and to get back in the air. And you would think at some point these people would go, you know, I donated all that money to Trump. He didn't do a damn thing for me. I still have no savings. I'm still in this terrible situation here in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, but he's flying in on a brand new painted plane. Maybe I should stop. Maybe it's time to stop. Overt fascistic propaganda shows up with the cheering cultists, but they don't think about it. They just go, yeah, this is the guy I'm supposed to be voting for. So let's get right into it. Inside the cult, Donald Trump did something interesting. He referred to Ron DeSantis as Ron DeSanctimonious, showing us he was going public with the civil war between him and DeSantis.
Party for the nomination like nobody's ever seen before. Let's see, there it is. Trump at 71, Ron DeSanctimonious at 10%.
Now, people didn't like this. Later, when we look at the Florida rally that Trump didn't invite DeSantis, but he did say, vote for Rubio, vote for DeSantis. In the not even 24 hours between the Pennsylvania rally and the Florida rally, people went to Trump and said that was not a good look. Narcissists don't like sharing the spotlight. Trump is furious that DeSantis refuses to say, I won't run against Trump in 24. So he went with Ron DeSanctimonious. Republicans told him, don't do that. That's not a good idea. And Trump backing off of it by the following rally. Donald Trump wrongly claimed that this Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that he won the 2020 election there. Take a listen.
That basically said we were all right. 2 weeks ago, a week ago, just about all Democrat Supreme Court of Pennsylvania said they were right. The 2020 election, with respect to the ballots and everything else, the 2020 election was not right. It was not right. It was not allowed.
That is not what the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled. Trump is lying overtly. What the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled about a week ago is that undated ballots in the 2022 primary were invalid. 2022 primary undated ballots. They did not rule that things were not right in 2020, and certainly not that Donald Trump won. Donald Trump continuing to talk about 2020.
And you're all Democrat, mostly, I think just about all Democrat Supreme Court.
Oh, sorry. This is part of the clip we just looked at. Okay, let's continue. Donald Trump talking about his relationship with the Chinese president, Xi. And Trump saying, I call him the king now.
If necessary. When I went to China, because I actually, until the China virus came in, I had a great relationship with President Xi. He's now president for life. I call him king. He says, no, I am not king. I am president. I said, no, you're president for life. Therefore, you're the king as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. There are times in American history where for a president to say, I basically am calling this authoritarian strongman the king, that would be a humiliating blunder for a president or former president to say. And the crowd cheers now. This is how depraved and debased the right wing has become. Donald Trump then exploding in an unintelligible word salad about the media being the enemy of the people and Russia. It's unintelligible. It's diarrhea of the mouth, folks.
Communism. This is getting to be what they're doing with the Catherine Engelbrecht and everybody. This is like a communist country, and the people, we're not standing for a communist country.
Well, there is no such country here in the U.S., so you don't have to stand for it or sit.
We came too far because honestly, they have nothing going. Their policy is crazy. The only thing they do well is misinformation and cheat on elections. That's the only thing, and they're really good at that. The radical Democrats are locking up pro-life, and you know this, you see this, the pro-life activists, they're being locked up all over the place. They're persecuting their political opponents. I wonder who. Nobody. A friend of mine said, there's never been a president that's been treated like you after he gets, you know, when you get out of office, you go out, these guys come at you left and right on such bullshit, you've never seen anything like it.
Another thing is that the crowds are so childish that when Trump swears, the crowd cheers like that's cool. I mean, it's quite literally like 8-year-olds.
Spying on their political rivals. Remember, they spied on my campaign.
And remember, they did not spy on Trump's campaign. Just as a reminder, Trump's campaign in 2015 and 2016 was in touch with so many suspected criminals and spies that because those suspected criminals and spies were being surveilled, Trump's people were coincidentally overheard because they were in touch with those suspected criminals and spies. It's out of this world stuff. And Trump just says, oh, they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign. Trump then talks about documents, the entire document thing, and he tells lies there as well.
New Air Force One. Now, Air Force One is actually two planes. It's two 747 800s or 900s.
By the way, nothing more relatable than when Trump talks about planes and private planes.
And they're quite the plane, I will tell you. In fact, I can't even tell you what's on this plane because it might be top secret, and they'll try and say, oh, he violated a document.
He violated a document. Listen, everybody's accusing Trump of assault now, even the documents.
He's violated. Every other president takes their documents. I'm the only one. I can't have a document, but everyone else, they got them all over the place. They have them in Chinese restaurants and bowling alleys. You know that, right?
Now, remember, that's also a lie. What Trump is referring to is there was one point at which the National Archives actually legally and officially rented a building that previously housed a restaurant in order to temporarily store documents. The archives had them. The idea that George H.W. Bush stuffed some documents in a Chinese laundry, like in the dryer, it's completely absurd. So then the crowd starts leaving, half the crowd reportedly leaving while Trump was still speaking. They bring up Mehmet Oz. Mehmet Oz says tomorrow, before the Steeler game, call 10 people and make sure that they vote. The only problem, the Steelers didn't have a game yesterday. But Oz, who isn't even really from Pennsylvania, has no clue what's going on.
Tomorrow morning, when you awaken, I want you to contact 10 people. Do it at church, do it before the Steelers game, just find the time. And here's the question you're going to ask them. Are you happy with the way America's going?
Right. There was no Steelers game yesterday, Sunday. Oz knows so little about Pennsylvania that he doesn't even know when the Steelers play. And of course, actual Steeler fans, I assure you, know when the Steelers play. The rally was also in support of Doug Mastriano. Doug Mastriano took a different approach, which was during his brief moment in the limelight during the rally. He just groveled before Trump, which is really what Trump likes.
Of Pennsylvania, Mr. President. Pennsylvania loves you. We need you. He was such a great president that even Vladimir Putin behaved for 4 years. I mean,
Vladimir.
It's amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Pennsylvania, 3 days away from victory. We're going to take back our state.
Yeah. So Mastriano was on message. He was just praising Trump. That's what you're supposed to do. And then lastly, and this was really weird, Trump brought up Christian televangelist lunatic Kenneth Copeland. And it got really weird.
There are things, this great state of Pennsylvania, liberty was born here. I've been accused of being a Christian nationalist. Our first president, 1789.
This is not slowed down, by the way.
This Bible, it's 17th chapter of Genesis, where God made covenant with Abraham. And he read that. and he bowed his knee.
Oh, God.
And he prayed.
Anyway, I won't play the full 2 minutes. Trump was completely bored during this and very clearly regretted bringing up Kenneth Copeland. Absolutely deranged rally. We were there. Our correspondent Luke Beasley was on the ground in Latrobe. We'll have those clips after the break. Remember, if you watch our content, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast on whatever podcast platform you use. It's free. And make sure you are subscribed on YouTube. I just got updated numbers from October. 3.2 million individual people watched our clips, aren't subscribed on YouTube. If just those 3.2 million people subscribe, we would immediately be tied for the biggest progressive YouTube channel on the internet. Huge numbers of people report that CBD has a calming effect that can help with anxiety, stress, insomnia. And our sponsor, Feels, is a premium CBD designed to help you feel your best, delivered right to your door. You just place a few drops of Feels under your tongue. CBD can also be a safe method for relieving minor aches and pains without side effects. The thing to remember about CBD is that finding the right dose is important, and Feels even has experts on call to help you with that over the phone. If you need a dose of chill on the go, you've got the Feels CBD infused mints, and you'll get fresh breath. Hard to complain about that. And with a Feels monthly membership, CBD is simply a breeze. You save money on every order. You can pause or cancel at any time. Become a member today and get 50% off your first order with free shipping when you go to feels.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.